I don't know how this looks. Um, but I'm gonna have to get a new phone, y'all. Like, I'm tired of the battery always dying. It's annoying. At this point, I don't like it. You know. There we go. That looks good, actually. It'll look good right there. I'm gonna give you guys some time to get in here. I'm sorry about that. My phone died. The battery wasn't even like halfway dead, but it still died. So sorry about that, guys. Let me go ahead and make sure that we are not still live on the other one. Like, my battery continues to get lower and lower. I'm not gonna be able to do that. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. This is dumb. You ever drunk water, but it like dehydrates you even more? You ever had that? Y'all ever had that happen? I didn't have that many of you in the last one, so I'm not anticipating that you know, that this fills up quickly or anything. We just gotta show up for ourselves, regardless if the numbers is high one day and then low another day. You know, we just gotta show up for ourselves, and that's what's most important. That is what is most important. Okay. I just want to continue the conversation because it was a good one. It was a real good one. So I want to make sure I finish that conversation that we were having about Semitism and what it is. Let me see. Okay, I see it right there. We're live. Everything is good in that regard. All right. Let's make it large screen. Let me make sure the chat is up and running. Okay, cool. Cool. So we're up and running. Okay, cool. Cool. So for those of y'all guys that's gonna be watching this back, I appreciate you guys being here and checking me out again. I don't know if the other live will even save. It did end abruptly. Excuse me. It did end abruptly, and that is my bad. Just like my battery is still lowering itself currently. Can you please say sorry? I'm sorry that your hamster died, bro. But that's not what we're talking about in this live. I'm well, brother. How are you? This water is not good though. So if you guys are ever in the Midwest and you have a United Dairy Farmers, do not buy their water. Their water is not good at all. And I want to know why my battery. Yo, guys, please don't be mad at me. My battery keeps dying, bro. And you know, so guys, this phone might die again. I think this is gonna be the last day that I allow this phone to interrupt my pursuits because I don't like that it keeps cutting off. It's very frustrating. It's not fair to those of us that were having a meaningful conversation. So I do apologize about that sincerely. Um, Anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and finish my talking points on Semitism and what I was discussing about it because it was a good conversation, but again, my battery keeps messing up. These iPhones, I'm going to have to start streaming on my other phones. So the quality might not be as good as I like it to be, but I think it's going to be far better than this because it's not going to keep cutting off on you guys and doing all that type of crappy stuff, for no reason. You know what I mean? So, I don't mind. This is the third time I've had to restart the live, so I'm not gonna really worry about the numbers per se. I'm just gonna focus on the conversation. And yeah, let's just focus on the conversation. So, to surmise my point, Semitism in this world has been perverted. The word Semitic has been perverted in this world to mean something that it doesn't to represent a group of people that it does not historically represent. Again, because Semitism is relating to the Semitic background of a people and region that is from northern and central Africa. So therefore, by definition, the people that usually have a stake on the word of Semitism do not actually know what that word means, and if they do know what it means, they're outwardly using that term to represent themselves, knowing damn well that it does not represent them as a ethnic group of people. So I also further concluded that if you are in support of a pro-Israel state, as we know it today, that you are in the support of not only that lie that I just talked about in relation to Semitism, but you're also in support of genocide, a genocide of a group of people who historically have not been aggressive or violent towards anyone that I'm aware of. You're supporting a genocide towards a group of people, and you're also supporting a war criminal, and that of Netanyahu, who is a war criminal. Just like along with Marco Rubio and Donald Trump, I believe all of these people should be held in international criminal court by the ICC, and they should have international war crimes and crimes against humanity pressed against them, just like a lot of our U.S. presidents should, but particularly this group of people, because they are outwardly against one group of people and favoring another group of people, and that is that's not just a Palestinian problem. That's just not a Israeli problem. That's a crime against humanity problem, and it is not okay. So kind of to surmise what I was talking about, I mentioned how all of these people, particularly Marco Rubio, his interest in Israel seemed to be rooted in corruption through groups like the APAC and stuff like that. It also seemed to be rooted into what seems to be the financial donating support, donors support that they give him through groups like APAC and through their quote unquote charities that don't benefit anybody but themselves. So that's what's going on with an Israeli state. I mentioned how Donald Trump is pro-Israel because he has Jeffrey Epstein ties, which is a quote-unquote Jew relating back to the state of Israel. And same thing with Marco Rubio. These people are in bed with demonic entities that rest in the state of Israel. So that's more aligned with what we were talking about. And then I had a quote unquote troll in my comments that was just talking about the state of Black America and how we really don't really represent anything of substance. So we were having a conversation about that, but I appreciate those of y'all that's going to be watching the first video back. I'll do my best to make sure that we have it all stitched up. But it was a really good conversation. I enjoyed having it, and I enjoy having this conversation. Currently, as we're seeing it right now, the Marco Rubio has threatened to sanction the ICC for basically withdraw financial support, American financial support of the International Criminal Court, because they have threatened to, or they plan on prosecuting Netanyahu for war crimes, like I just said. And they also plan on prosecuting Donald Trump for war crimes, like I just said. So this is not an isolated issue. The world sees it. It's just when you are indoctrinated and in bed with really white nationalism, you kind of like turn a blind eye to things, and that's what's going on with our That's what's going on with our current administration. We have turned a blind eye to truth, you know, and it's kind of sad and it's kind of disgusting, really. You know, it's kind of sad and it's kind of disgusting, really. Um, Let me see something. But yeah, that's what we were talking about. Um, Let me think about anything else that I might have missed. Um, Let me think. Like before, I didn't used to know, or I didn't used to understand like what, you know, free Palestine means, or I didn't understand like what are you guys talking about? But now I get it. I get it. What's happening right now is we used to talk about stuff like this. We used to talk about how Russia, contributed to the first genocide before the quote unquote Holocaust. We used to talk about that. We talk about to this day how the Holocaust is just so bad. How it was just, don't forget Auschwitz. Don't forget, and I'm not saying that the murdering of innocent people is ever okay, but I'm saying that we're selective with our attention. I'm saying that the same thing is going on right now in Palestine. The same thing has been going on domestically here in North America through the genocide of the indigenous Americans that look like me and the indigenous Native Americans that came over that land bridge by the way of Russia and otherwise. So we're very selective with the groups of people that we celebrate and that we tolerate. And yeah, that's kind of disgusting, you know? To surmise my points, we talked about how Marco Rubio is literally Netanyahu's puppet. We also talked about how Trump is in bed with Epstein. That's why you didn't get the black book that you guys so desperately wanted, that has all that information about, the child sex traffickers and predators and cannibals and stuff like that there. The stuff that he ran his whole platform on in order for him to get elected. We talked about that. We talked about how what else we talk about? We talked about how Semitic is a term that relates to Semitic speaking people that spoke languages that originated in Africa. So by definition, all these anti-Semitism tropes that gets thrown around and that people get in trouble for is by definition not relating to the people that get mad. You know what I'm saying? So in simpler words, the people that be mad at us, or the people that be mad at people for making anti-Semitic remarks or whatever the case may be, are not Semitic people. They're claiming to be something that they're not. So by definition, we're kind of like supporting liars. And then I also find it kind of interesting how I can sit on here all day and I can make songs that glorify the killing of black people. I can make songs that glorify the degradation of women, the assaulting of really any racial group outside of this particular ethnically identifying Jewish class. But anytime I make any tropes against them, or anytime you speak ill against them, you can be marked for hate speech. I find that I don't find that coincidental. I find that intentional. So it's very interesting to see what we have going on here. I'm gonna make sure that I make my 6 o'clock show tomorrow. But yeah.